Good morning, everyone. This is Ria, and today I will be talking about the motivation concepts. So, this chapter will review the basics of motivation, assess motivation theories, and provide an integrative model that fits the best of these theories together. Some individuals seem driven to succeed. So the difference of the situation, there is a the level of motivation of every individual varies between individuals and within individuals at different times. So before proceeding to the topic, let me tell you the learning objectives first. So after this session, after my report, we will be able to describe the three elements of motivation. We will also be able to identify four early theories of motivation and evaluate their applicability today, apply the predictions of cognitive evaluation theory to intrinsic and extrinsic rewards, compare and contrast goal setting theory and management by objectives, contrast reinforcement theory and goal setting theory, demonstrate how organizational justice is a refinement of equity theory, apply the key tenets of expectancy theory to motivating employees, compare contemporary theories of motivation, and explain to what degree of motivation theories are culture bound. So these are the learning objectives. So we define motivation as the process that account for an individual's intensity, direction, and persistence of effort toward attaining a goal. So it is the reason for engaging in a particular behavior towards attaining a goal. While general motivation is concerned with effort toward any goal, we will narrow the focus to organizational goals in order to reflect our singular interest in work-related behavior. So, in the definition given a while ago. So there are three main elements, key elements in our definition, and those are intense. These are intensity, direction, and persistence. So intensity describes how hard a person tries. So this is the element most of us focus on when we talk about motivation. However, high intensity is unlikely to lead to favorable job performance outcomes unless the effort is channeled in a direction that benefits the organization. Therefore, we consider the quality of effort as well as its intensity. Effort directed toward and consistent with the organization's goals is the kind of effort we should be seeking. So it leads to the direction, it leads to the desired outcomes. Saan tayo pupunta? What is our direction? And the next key element, finally, is motivation has a persistence dimension. This measures how long a person can maintain effort, how long a certain individual tries. Motivated individuals stay with a task long enough to achieve their goal. So these are the three elements or the three key concepts of motivation. So there are four theories of employee motivation formulated during the 1950s, although now of questionable validity, are probably still the best known. So some of these theories, we have heard of these theories a lot, and some of these are already reported in other subjects. So I will be talking about the early theories of motivation. So the first theory of motivation is the best known theory of motivation is Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Maslow, in this theory, Maslow hypothesized that within every human being there exists a hierarchy of five needs. So Abraham Harold Maslow was a psychologist who studied positive human qualities in the lives of exemplary people. So in 1954, he created the hierarchy of human needs and expressed his theory in his book Motivation and Personality. So there are five levels of needs. So the first level is the physiological need. It includes hunger, thirst, shelter, sex, and other bodily needs, the human basic needs. So after a certain individual has been satisfied of in this level, the next level is the safety need, the need of safety. The security, it includes security and protection from physical and emotional harm. So security of body, of employment, of resources, of morality, of the family, of health, and of property. Next is the love or belonging needs, social needs. So affection, belongingness, acceptance, and friendship are examples of the social need. And if we are already satisfied with or contented with in this level, so we proceed to esteem. The internal factors such as self-respect, autonomy, and achievement, and external factors such as status, recognition, and attention. And the highest need, the top need is self actualization. So, drive to become what we are capable of becoming includes growth, achieving our potential, and self fulfillment. So, self actualization is a person's motivation to reach his or her full potential. So, it is shown here in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. A person's basic needs must be met before self actualization can be achieved. So it starts from the bottom to the top. So these are the general examples of each level. So for physiological need, the general example is sustenance, safety is a stability, love or belonging, friendship, esteem, status, and self actualization is achievement. While organizational examples for these five needs are the following. For physiological need, you have the base salary. Safety is pension plan, so love or belonging, social need, friends in work, and esteem, your job title, and self actualization is challenging job. So, although no need is ever fully gratified, a substantially satisfied need no longer motivates. Kung lahat ng needs na ito ay nasatisfy na, so hindi na tayo, wala nang reason na ma-motivate pa tayo. Kasi we are already contented, we are happy of what we have and what we are now. So, paano tayo ma-motivate if we already have this all? And we are already contented. So, thus, as each becomes substantially satisfied, the next one becomes dominant. So, if you want to motivate someone, according to Maslow, you need to understand what level of the hierarchy that person is currently on and focus on satisfying needs at or above that level. So Maslow separated the five needs into higher and lower orders. So Physiological and safety needs, where the theory says people start, were lower order needs. And social esteem and self-actualization were higher order needs. So higher order needs are satisfied internally, while lower order needs are predominantly satisfied externally by the things such as pay, contracts, and tenure. So the hierarchy, if it applies at all, so it aligns with the culture, with the US culture. Maslow's theory has received wide recognition, particularly among practicing managers. And that is all about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, this principle, this theory was uh, So this theory was elaborated here in Alderfer's ERG theory. So it has been divided. So the needs, these five needs, has been divided into three needs only, three level needs: the existence, relatedness, and growth. E, R, and G. So the next theory that I will be discussing today is the theory X and theory Y. The motivational theories X and Y, which was proposed by Douglas McGregor. Douglas McGregor proposed these two distinct views of human beings. One basically negative, labeled as theory X, and the other basically positive, labeled as theory Y. So after studying managers' dealings with employees, MacGregor concluded that their views of the nature of human beings are based on certain assumptions that mold their behavior. So under theory X, managers believe employees inherently dislike work and must therefore be directed or even coerced into performing it. So, under theory Y, in contrast, managers assume employees can view work as being as natural as rest or play. So, to understand fully, these are the assumptions of MacGregor about people based on theory X. So he believed, or he assumed, that people on theory X are naturally indolent, lack ambition, dislike responsibility, and prefer to be led, inherently self centered and indifferent to organizational needs, naturally resistant to change, gullible, not bright, and ready dupes. While his assumptions about people based on theory Y are the following: experiences in organizations result in passive and resistant behaviors. They are not inherent. The motivation, development potential, capacity for assuming responsibility, readiness to direct behavior toward organizational goals are present in people. And management's task, arrange conditions, and operational methods so people can achieve their own goals by directing efforts to organizational goals. So, unfortunately, no evidence confirms that either set of assumptions is valid or that acting on theory Y assumptions will lead to more motivated workers. So, theories need empirical support before we can accept them. So, theory X and theory Y lack such support as much as the hierarchy of needs. So the next theory, the third theory, is the two-factor theory. It was promulgated by Frederick Herzberg. So believing an individual's relationship to work is basic and that attitude toward work can determine success or failure. Psychologist Frederick Herzberg wondered, what do people want from their job? So he asked people to describe in detail situations in which they felt exceptionally good or bad about their jobs. So The responses differed significantly and led Hertzberg to his two factor theory. This two factor theory or two factor principles is also called motivation hygiene theory. To Hertzberg, the data suggests that the opposite of satisfaction is not dissatisfaction, as what traditionally believed. So here, job dissatisfaction, according to Herzberg, the factors that lead to job satisfactions are separate and distinct from those that lead to job dissatisfaction. Therefore, managers who seek to eliminate factors that can create job dissatisfaction may bring about peace, but not necessarily motivation. So, as a result, he characterized conditions such as quality of supervision, pay, company policies, physical working conditions, relationship with others, and job security as hygiene factors. When these factors are adequate, people will not be dissatisfied, neither will they be satisfied. So, if we want to motivate people on their jobs, according to Herzberg, that he suggested that emphasizing factors associated with the work itself or with outcomes directly derived from it, such as promotional opportunities, personal growth opportunities, recognition, responsibility, and achievement. So these are the characteristics people find intrinsically rewarding. So the next theory, the fourth theory, early theories, is McClelland's motivational needs. It was developed by David McClelland and his associates. So it looks at three needs: the need for achievement, the need for power, and the need for affiliation. Try imagining yourself that you have one bean bag and there are five targets set up in front of you, or three targets set up in front of you. So each target farther away than the last. So for example, target A sits almost within arm's reach, like 1 meter away. So if you hit it, you get $100, 100 peso. Well, target B is a bit farther than target A, so around 300, no, no, centimeters or 3 meters away, but about 80% of the people who try can hit it, and it pays 200 peso. And target C pays 500 pesos, and about half of the people who try can hit it, which is the farthest target you could have. So which target would you choose? So if you choose B or C, you're likely to be a high achiever. So this is how McClelland's motivational needs work. So McClelland and subsequent researchers focused most of their attention on the need of achievement. So according to him, the high achievers perform best when they perceive their probability of success as zero point 0.5 or 50%. That is a 50-50 chance. So they dislike gambling with high odds because they get no achievement satisfaction from success that comes by pure chance. So similarly, they dislike low odds because then there is no challenge to their skills. They like to set goals that require stretching themselves a little. So mas namomotivate tayo or ang isang individual, according to McClelland, na namamotivate ang isang individual if na-challenge sila. So relying on an extensive amount of research, we can predict some relationships between achievement, need, and job performance. First, when jobs have a high degree of personal responsibility and feedback and an intermediate degree of risk, high achievers are strongly motivated. So that is what the McClelland's motivational needs about. So the need for achievement, it is a manifest need that concerns individuals' issues of excellence, competence, competition, challenging goals, persistence, and overcoming difficulties. The need for power is a manifest need that concerns an individual's need to make an impact on others, influence others, change people or events, and make a difference in life. And the need for affiliation is a manifest need that concerns an individual need to establish and maintain warm, close, intimate relationships with other people. So these are the McClelland's need theory. This is McClelland's need theory. The need for achievement, power, and the need for affiliation. So let's proceed to the contemporary theories of motivation. Early theories of motivation either have not held up under close examination or have fallen out of favor. So, in contrast, contemporary theories have one thing in common: each has a reasonable degree of valid supporting documentation. This doesn't mean they are unquestionably right. We call them contemporary theories because they represent the current state of thinking in explaining employee motivation. So, the first contemporary theory of motivation is the cognitive evaluation theory, which hypothesizes that extrinsic rewards will reduce intrinsic interest in a task. So when people are paid for work, it feels less like something they want to do and more like something they have to do. So self-determination theory also proposes that in addition to being driven by a need for autonomy, people seek ways to achieve competence and positive connections to other. So when an organization uses extrinsic rewards as payoffs for superior performance, employees feel they are doing a good job less because of their own intrinsic desire to excel than because that's what the organization wants. She works eliminating extrinsic rewards can also shift an individual's perception of why an individual works on a task from an external to an internal explanation. So studies examining how extrinsic rewards increased motivation for some creative tasks suggest we might need to place cognitive evaluation theory prediction in a broader context. So this theory addresses the effects of social context on intrinsic motivation. Next is a goal setting theory. Goal setting theory claims that providing specific, challenging, and interesting goals while giving constant feedback results in better outcomes. So there are also other factors that influence goal setting effect, like goal commitment, task characteristics, and national culture. Research on goal setting theory, in fact, reveals impressive effects of goal specificity, challenge, and feedback on performance. So in the late 1960s, Edwin Locke proposed that intentions to work toward a goal are a major source of work motivation. So that is, goals tell an employee what needs to be done and how much effort is needed. So evidence strongly suggests that specific goals increase performance. That is, difficult goals, when accepted, it results in higher performance than do easy goals, and that feedback leads to higher performance than does non-feedback. So specific goals produce a higher level of output than the generalized goal. Do your best. Why? Specificity itself seems to act as an internal stimulus. That is why you have to set your goals. But why are people motivated by difficult goals? So, first, challenging goals get our attention and thus tend to help us focus. Second, difficult goals energize us because we have to work harder to attain them compared to simple goals, like easy to get goals. So, do you study as hard for an easy exam as you do for a difficult one, for example? So, we don't study much if we know that the exam is too easy. But if our professor would say, okay, you study because this one, that our exam would be quite difficult. Or we find the subject difficult, we find the course difficult. So, we have to study very hard because the our goal is to pass the exam, and for us the subject is too difficult. So that is our goal. So third, when goals are difficult, people persist in trying to attain them. It, it is very satisfying if we know that this goal is difficult, this goal is quite very hard, it's very hard to achieve this goal, but we persist. Nagpupursige tayo or pinupursige natin na ma-achieve yung goal na yon, to attain the goal, because it satisfies us, so that motivates us. Lastly, difficult goals lead us to discover strategies that help us perform the job or task more effectively. So, if we have to struggle to solve a difficult problem, we often think of a better way to go about it. People do better when they get feedback on how well they are progressing toward their goals, because it helps identify discrepancies between what they have done and what they want to do. So, goal setting theory assumes an individual is committed to the goal and determined not to lower or abandon it. So, the individual believes he or she can achieve the goal and wants to achieve it. Okay, the next contemporary theory is self-efficacy theory. Pasensya na po, malitong isang nalagay ko dito, hindi ko nakita. So, self-efficacy theory is also known as social cognitive theory, or social learning theory. It is based on one's confidence that he or she can perform or achieve a goal. It refers to an individual's belief that he or she is capable of performing a task. So the higher your self efficacy is, the more confidence you have in your ability to succeed. Kaya in difficult situations, people with low self efficacy are more likely to lessen their effort or give up altogether, while those with high self efficacy will try harder to master the challenge. Self efficacy can create a positive spiral in which those with high efficacy become more engaged in their task, and then in turn increase performance, which increases efficacy further. The next contemporary theory is reinforcement theory. So it is the opposite of goal setting theory, and it indicates that behaviors are environmentally caused. So goal setting is a cognitive approach proposing that an individual's purposes direct his action, while reinforcement theory, in contrast, takes a behavioristic view, arguing that reinforcement conditions behavior. So these two theories are clearly at odds philosophically. So reinforcement theorists see behaviors as environmentally caused, and you need not be concerned, they would argue, with internal cognitive events. What controls behavior is reinforcers, and any consequences that, when immediately following responses, increase the probability that the behavior will be repeated. So, reinforcement theory ignores the inner state of the individual and concentrates solely on what happens when he or she takes some actions, because it does not concern itself with what initiates behavior. It is not, strictly speaking, a theory of motivation, but it does provide a powerful means of analyzing what controls behavior. And this is why we typically consider it in discussion here in the motivation. So that is reinforcement theory. Next theory is the equity theory or organizational justice. So, equity theory, this theory argues that employees compare their efforts and their outcomes with those other employees. So, four ways to compare: self inside, self outside, the other inside, and the other outside. So, the referent and employee selects add to the complexity of equity theory. So, self and inside refers, or this is when an employee's experiences in a different position inside the employee's current organization. So the employee compares itself to an employee or with an employee's experiences in a different position inside the employee's current organization. Self outside is when we compare an employee's experiences in a situation or position outside the employee's current organization or outside the organization, other the other organizations. Other inside another individual or group of individuals inside, we compare ourselves to another individual inside the organization. Other outside, we compare ourselves to another with another individual or group of individuals outside the employees organization. Yung self inside, kung ano yung mga experiences natin, kung ano yung na-assign tayo sa iba't ibang position, we compare ourselves. Self outside, we compare ourselves based on the situation, kung saan tayo na sitwasyon nanggaling with our previous jobs, with our past employers, or past na organization, previous organizations na nasalihan natin. Kinukumpara natin yung ating um, kinukumpara natin yung ating role na ginagampanan. So that role, the equity plays in motivation. So employees perceive what they get from a job situation, whether the salary levels, raises, recognition, in relationship to what they put into it. So effort, experience, education, competence. So sometimes nafi-feel natin na okay, mababa yung sahod ko. Bakit mababa yung sahod ko? Yung yung experience ko is ganito. Yung level ng education ko mataas na. Yung experience ko ganito, yung mga trainings and workshops na join ko, na party na I had or I think could help me in getting a better salary. And then they compare their outcome input ratio with that of relevant others. So if we perceive our ratio to be equal to that of the relevant others with whom we compare ourselves, a state of equity exists. Meron tayo, pag kinukumpara natin yung sarili natin sa isang tao, like, or sa ating sa ibang empleyado, na, ay, mas magaling ako dito, bakit mas mataas yung posisyon niya kaysa sa akin? I have a, I have better education level, mas madami akong alam kaysa sa taong yon. We feel like we are not motivated to work, or if nakikita natin na hindi equal yung treatment sa atin ng ating employer. So this is what equity theory is all about. We perceive that our situation is fair and justice prevails. So when we see the ratio as unequal and we feel under rewarded, we experience equity tension that creates anger. So when we see ourselves as over rewarded, tension creates guilt. So that this is about equity theory. So employees might compare themselves to friends, neighbors, co-workers, or colleagues in other organizations and compare their present job with past jobs, which referent an employee chooses will be influenced by the information the employee holds about reference as well as by the attractiveness of the referent. So in this equity theory, there are three forms of justice. So we have here distributive justice, procedural justice, and the interactional justice. So the overall perception of what is fair in the workplace is called organizational justice. So these three forms of justice, like in distributive justice, it is the fairness of the outcome. It is the perceived fairness of outcome. For example, I got the pay raise I deserve. You work hard for it. So you work hard for it. So this is the distributive justice. Like you feel like you are you are paid. You got paid, that you are deserved to have the pay raise. Next is procedural justice, the fairness of outcome process. It is used to determine outcome. For example, I had input into the process used to give raises and was given a good explanation of why I received the raise I did. And interactional justice, it is perceived degree to which one is treated with dignity and respect. For example, when telling me about my race, my supervisor was very nice and complimentary. So overall, the organizational justice, it is the overall perception of what is fair in the workplace. So I think this is a fair place to work. So of these three forms of justice, distributive justice is most strongly related to organizational commitment and satisfaction with outcomes such as pay, while procedural justice relates most strongly to job satisfaction, employee trust, withdrawal from the organization, job performance, and citizenship behaviors. And there is less evidence about interactional justice. So the next contemporary theory is expectancy theory. It is one of the most widely accepted explanations of motivation, is Victor Vroom's expectancy theory. So although it has its critics, most of the evidence supports it. So expectancy theory argues that the strength of our tendency to act a certain way depends on the strength of our expectation of a given outcome and its attractiveness. In more practical terms, employees will be motivated to exert a high level of effort when they believe it will lead to a good performance appraisal. So that a good appraisal will lead to organizational rewards such as bonuses, salary increases, or promotions, and that the rewards will satisfy the employee's personal goals. So, but this theory, however, or therefore focuses on three relationships, relationships here: the effort performance relationship, performance reward relationship, and rewards personal goals relationship. The effort performance relationship, it is the probability perceived by the individual that exerting a given amount of effort will lead to performance, the expectancy of performance success, individual effort to individual performance. The second relationship is the performance reward relationship. This is the degree to which the individual believes performing at a particular level will lead to the attainment of a desired outcome. So, from individual performance to organizational rewards, instrumentality of success in getting reward. The third relationship is rewards personal goals relationship. It is the degree to which organizational rewards satisfy an individual's personal goals or needs and the attractiveness of those potential rewards for the individual. From organizational rewards to personal goals, the valuation of the reward in employees' eyes. Expectancy theory help explain why a lot of workers aren't motivated on their jobs and do only the minimum necessary to get by. So first, if I give a maximum effort, will it be recognized in my performance appraisal? For many employees, the answer is no. Why? Their skill level may be deficient, which means no matter how hard they try, they're not likely to be high performers. So the organization's performance appraisal system may be designed to assess non-performance factors such as loyalty, initiative, or courage, which means more effort won't necessarily result in a higher evaluation. So another possibility is that employees rightly or wrongly perceive the boss doesn't like them. So as a result, they expect a poor appraisal regardless of effort. So these examples suggest one possible source of low motivation is employees' belief that no matter how hard they work, the likelihood of getting a good performance appraisal is very low. So may mga taong hindi na ma-motivate na gawin yung kanilang best kasi nafe-feel nila na hindi naman nare-recognize yung kanilang effort. Second, if I get a good performance appraisal, will it lead to organizational rewards? Pag ginawa ko ba ang aking best, maging outstanding yung aking performance appraisal, may reward ba akong matatanggap? May bonus ba akong matatanggap? Tataas ba ang sahod ko? Mapopromote ba ako? So many organizations reward things besides performance. When pay is based on factors, lalo na if yung sahod natin ay nababase doon sa seniority. Pag matagal na mas kahit wala naman masyadong trabaho, pag matagal ka doon, mas malaki yung sahod mo, mas mataas yung sahod mo. Being cooperative, pag lagi kang tumutulong sa organization, then you have the tendency is high na magkaroon ka din ng magandang sahod. Or if sip-sip ka sa boss mo. So employees are likely to see the performance reward relationship as weak and demotivating. Finally, if I am rewarded, are the rewards attractive to me? Kung Mabibigyan ba ako ng reward? Attractive ba sa akin yung reward? Would it satisfy me or no? So the employee works hard in the hope of getting a promotion but gets a pay raise instead. May mga ibang empleyado that they work very hard. I really experienced it when I was a human resource manager, human management officer in a local government before. So there are employees, especially those who already have been working in the government, in the organization for 10 years or more, tapos sa casual pa yung kanilang casual employees pa lang sila. They, parang sila yung inaabuso talaga. But they don't, gusto lang nila na magkaroon ng permanent position. But because the agency has exceeded its PS, personal services, hindi makakapag-create ng new position for them. Kaya yung gusto ng mga casual employees na magkaroon ng permanent position ay hindi possible. So instead of having a permanent position, increase lang or bonus lang ang mabibigay sa kanila, which is not very attractive to them. So the employee, and also if another example, if the employee wants a more interesting and challenging job but only receives a few words of praise, so hindi siya attractive. So unfortunately, many managers are limited in the rewards they can distribute, which makes it difficult to tailor rewards to individuals' employee needs. So some incorrectly assume all employees want the same thing. Hindi naman lahat ng mga empleyado gusto ay salary increase. Hindi lahat ng empleyado gusto bonus yung makukuha o matatanggap or intrinsic. Minsan may mga empleyado na mas gusto ang intrinsic reward, like giving appreciation. So that is why we sometimes managers overlook the motivational effects of differentiating rewards. Kaya dapat meron yung um, reward system, mechanism yung isang organization na varied, iba't iba, kasi iba-iba din yung gusto ng mga empleyado. So those are the contemporary theories and the early theories of motivation. So things might be simpler if, after presenting a half dozen theories, we could say only one was found valid. So, but many of the theories in this chapter are complementary. So we now tie them together to help you understand their interrelationships. So in this illustration here, it integrates much of what we know about motivation. So its basic foundation is the expectancy model. We have expectancy model, which is shown here. So let's walk through this illustration. We begin by explicitly recognizing that opportunities can either aid or hinder individual effort. The individual effort box on the left also have or has another arrow leading into it from the person's goals. So person's goals. And consistent with goal setting theory, the goals effort loop is meant to remind us that goals direct behavior. Expectancy theory predicts employees Expectancy theory predicts employees will exert a high level of effort if they perceive a strong relationship between effort and performance. So, performance and rewards, and rewards and satisfaction of personal goals. So each of these relationship is in turn influenced by other factors. For effort to lead to good performance, the individual must have the ability to perform and perceive the performance appraisal system as fair and objective. So the performance reward relationship will be strong if the individual perceives that performance is rewarded rather than seniority, personal favorites, or other criteria. If cognitive evaluation theory is or were fully valid in the actual workplace, we would predict that here that basing rewards on performance should decrease the individual's intrinsic motivation. The final link in expectancy theory is the rewards or goals relationship. Reward goals relationship. Motivation is high if the rewards for high performance satisfied the dominant needs consistent with individual goals. It also reveals that the model considers achievement motivation, job design, reinforcement, and equity theories or organizational justice. A high achiever is not motivated by an organization's assessment of performance or organizational rewards. Hence the jump from effort to personal goals. Yeah, effort to personal goals for those with a high achievement. Remember, high achievers are internally driven as long as their jobs provide them with personal responsibility, feedback, and driven as long as their jobs provide them and moderate risk. So they are concerned with the effort, performance rewards, or rewards goals linkages. So reinforcement theory enters the model by recognizing that the organization's rewards reinforce the individual's performance. So if employees see a reward system as paying off for good performance, the rewards will reinforce and encourage good performance. Rewards also play the key part in organizational justice. Individuals will judge the favorability of their outcomes relative to what others receive, but also with respect to how they are treated. So, when people are disappointed in their rewards, they are likely to be sensitive to the perceived fairness of the procedures used and the consideration given to them by their superior. So, this is how we integrate contemporary motivation theories based on expectancy theory. So, these are the global implications. The motivation theories are often culture bound. For example, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory, the order of needs is not universal. There is a difference. The differences of needs, order of needs, magkaiba-iba yung mga needs ng mga tao. And McClelland's three needs theory, the need for achievement presupposes a willingness to accept risk and performance concerns is also not universal. Adams' equity theory, it is a desire for equity. The desire for equity is also not universal, each according to his need. That is according to its one's need, individual's need. And the desire for interesting work seems to be universal. There is some evidence that the intrinsic factors of Herzberg's two-factor theory may be universal. So the motivation theories in this chapter differ in their predictive strength. So here we review the most established to determine their relevance in explaining turnover, productivity, and other outcomes, and assess the predictive power of each theory. So the need theories by Maslow's hierarchy, Alderfer, McClelland, and Herzberg. These theories are well known but not very good predictors of behavior. None has found widespread support, although McClelland's is the strongest, but particularly regarding the relationship between achievement and productivity. In general, need theories are not very valid explanations of motivation. Goal setting theory, while limited in scope, it is quite a good predictor. Clear and difficult goals lead It states that the clear and difficult goals lead to higher levels of employee productivity. Supporting goal setting theories, explanation of this dependent variable. So the theory does not address absenteeism, turnover, or satisfaction, however. Reinforcement theory. So this theory is a powerful predictor in many work areas. This theory has an impressive record for predicting quality and quantity of work, persistence of effort, absenteeism, tardiness, and accident rates. It does not offer much insight into employee satisfaction or the decision to quit. Equity theory, or the organizational justice. It is best known for research in organizational justice, and equity theory deals with productivity, satisfaction, absence, and turnover variables. However, its strongest legacy is that it provided the spark for research on organizational justice, which has more support in the literature. And lastly, the expectancy theory. It is a good predictor of performance variables, but shares many of the assumptions as rational decision making. It offers a powerful explanation of performance variables such as employee productivity, absenteeism, um, and turnover. But it assumes employees have few constraints on decision making, such as bias or incomplete information, and this limits its applicability. So, expectancy theory has some validity because for many behaviors, people consider expected outcomes. That would be all for my presentation, my report. Thank you so much. Again, this is Ria, and thank you for listening.